Today on the PROLIFE podcast, have you ever thought of Planned Parenthood as a victim? Well, boy, you might have some thoughts about that after this episode. We need to talk about this. Let's get started. Happy Thursday, PROLIFE family. Welcome to the table. Get your coffee. We have much to discuss. Planned Parenthood playing the victim.
As usual.
Ironic. Mm-hmm. Anyways, friends, welcome to the table.
Hi.
If you'd like to introduce yourselves to the folks
at
home.
To. Kim Schwartz, Director of Media and Communication.
Bailey Sumbeck, Development Associate.
Brent Klingerman, IT Director, Head Nerd.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
And this is the last time we're going to have Bailey Sumbeck on the show because
right?
soon it's going to be Bailey
goodness.
Barton.
Yes, this is true.
Yes. Drop a comment to congratulate Bailey. So this is really exciting.
You.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Happy for you. Okay. Planned Parenthood, somehow they act like they're the victim here.
Yes.
It seems that for some years, they were getting Medicaid money from the state.
Mm-hmm.
Then it got outed by some people we know that they'd broken the law selling baby body parts.
They did.
If you haven't seen that stuff, you've been living under a rock for like the last decade.
Yeah. That has been almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Stop. Everyone pause, moment of silence. Okay.
So, and they're still around
Yep.
acting like, but poor us.
Yes.
We need all the tax dollars.
That's true. Man,
Texas said, okay, you broke the law. You don't get funding anymore.
you would think that would be the
Which
logical response.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like it if my tax dollars didn't fund illegal activity.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, but now there's a Texas Tribune article where they're acting like, oh, but we're just making it by,
Yeah.
just helping the women's.
Yep.
And it's been a couple of weeks, guys. I'm a little salty. So
It's true. Hey, you got to get all this stress out.
Doggone. Yeah, it's gala season.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stress. Okay, I'm just gonna vent it all. Generally directed to Planned Parenthood. Ha.
There you go.
Okay, so Kim,
Short summary.
the short just is too much. Let me summarize.
Yeah. This has actually been an adventure since 2015. Planned Parenthood for decades has gotten money from taxpayers, and we've always said, that's wrong because there are many people who are against abortion. Why should we fund? There are certain prohibitions that say you can't have tax dollars that directly fund abortion.
Correct.
But if we're funding an organization that performs lots and lots and lots of abortions, our tax dollars are still kind of helping that. And so we don't want a dime to go to Planned Parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even want that. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Even if they're paving the roads, we don't want them filling our potholes.
We have public works for that. We don't need them.
Yep, exactly. So 2015, though, this was a long time. 2015, those undercover videos by David Daleiden come out showing Planned Parenthood affiliates in Texas illegally discussing the illegal sale of baby body parts of fetal tissue, human remains that they had derived from abortions, and then selling those back at a profit. And so the Attorney General looked at that and was like, that is illegal. So you have disqualified yourself now, Planned Parenthood, from receiving Medicaid funds from the state because you're doing this illegal activity. So immediately the media was like, poor Planned Parenthood, they are the victims. Not only in the undercover videos that Planned Parenthood apparently was the victim in the undercover videos exposing things that they were all too happy to discuss. But also now they're the victims of not receiving tax dollars through Medicaid. And so that started in 2015, this whole journey. Naturally, Planned Parenthood did not like being told that you cannot receive millions of dollars per year. So they went to court and they sued the state of Texas trying to say, no, we do deserve this money.
Right.
We should continue to receive our Medicaid payments for helping all of these women who are underinsured or uninsured, yada, yada. So that went on in court from 2015 up until about last year. So it's been a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's 7 years in court.
Yep, that'll do it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. But
Gosh.
finally, we got the ruling last year from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals that said, yes, Texas, you can disqualify Planned Parenthood from your Medicaid program. They clearly conducted this illegal activity, disqualified themselves from your rules. So this was not like we're just singling out Planned Parenthood kind of thing. This is, here are the rules. You broke them. You don't get this money anymore. But
This seems so obvious, but continue.
But that is not how you would hear it from the media. How you would hear it from the media is this poor Planned Parenthood. Texas is suing them to have to pay all this money back now. So for that 7 years that this case was in court, Planned Parenthood continued to receive money from Medicaid. And that was after the state already told them, we're cutting you out of Medicaid. You don't get this money anymore. So they were like, but what if we still do receive it during this time? What if we still do take that money even though you said no? And so we're like, that's not how that works.
So somewhere in a government agency, somebody just kept going, well, but I got this bill.
Yep.
So, okay.
Pay it. It's true.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Government.
There is a technicality where Planned Parenthood basically sent their request for relief during that 7 years to kind of the wrong branch of government, if you will. They should have done it through the legislature and not through the courts is the basic scenario there.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have done it the right way, but they didn't. So that's that situation. Basically, they continue to receive. We've got $10 million in payments through Medicaid during that time. And so that is called fraud, Medicaid fraud.
Right. So now the state is seeking more than, I love this number, $1.8 billion in reimbursement, penalties, and fees.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, I know I'm stating the obvious, but Planned Parenthood is such a mess.
Yep.
Between their messy history and their messy present, it's not. Obviously, they're bad because of abortions, but as a company, they are a mess. Mm-hmm. They always make these terrible decisions, and I'm just so surprised they haven't tried to come out with a new version of Planned Parenthood that isn't so messy.
They kind of did though. This was kind of an understated issue, but they have their current president. Their president before that was Dr. Lena Wynn. And they hired her specifically because she was a doctor, because, she's an immigrant. They're like, wow, she has a great perspective. One of the reasons that the board chose her was to emphasize Planned Parenthood's role as a medical institution and not necessarily just a political institution. Now, keep that in mind. They chose her because she was medical. They didn't want to just be seen as a political institution.
Right.
9 months later, they fire her. Yes. Okay. Pause for that irony. Not good. Sad. Okay. We pray for Lena Wynn's conversion. So they fired her. And then the next president they chose was someone who's a political activist. So this entire spiel of let's kind of make ourselves more known for our medical presence. Nope, this is not working. Let's go straight back to political. All right. We tried that. It's not going. So implicitly, nobody really talked about that whenever she was fired, but implicitly they're agreeing we are a political organization. We don't care so much about the medical side.
They make more money in the political side.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Yeah. But so with this Medicaid lawsuit, because whenever you commit Medicaid fraud, it's not just the money that you took that you have to owe back. There's also penalties and fees that come back with that. So the $10 million that they took during those 7 years, could amount to $1.8 billion, according to the Texas Tribune, that they could have to owe back. And so some people online are saying that this could bankrupt Planned Parenthood from the state.
Drat.
We will see how that happens, but also the abortion side is very, very concerned because the same judge that ruled in the FDA case earlier this year about the abortion drug, and it was a very conservative judge hearing this case.
Right.
Guess who's ruling on this case?
Oh, it is the same
I love
guy.
that.
It's the same guy.
That's amazing. This is such good news.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is also another example of how Texas is really just in a good position to fight these battles, because we have very conservative judges in our state. And guess what? We're going to get the ruling from this judge eventually. They haven't said when he's going to rule. That's kind of how the court works. It's just like, whenever, we'll surprise you.
This is true.
You can see this because this court case has been happening for 7 years. Okay. So yeah. But after the district court, whichever side loses is going to appeal to the higher court.
Right.
And guess what? Our higher court is solid too. So we're kind of just on the fast path to victory here. I don't know fast, but a good path, a solid path. And just hoping, praying for a good outcome there. But it's just so interesting to see the reaction that Planned Parenthood, they defrauded the state of $10 million. And it's not just the state, it's taxpayers. They defrauded us. We're the victims, actually. But you read every headline. This became a national story this past week. And it's always like, will Texas bankrupt Planned Parenthood? Planned Parenthood's in trouble. Oh, no. And it reminded me of that meme from Parks and Recreation where it's like, I have done nothing wrong ever in my life. And the media is like, I know this and I love you.
Yeah.
So that's really what we see here. And their argument ultimately is it's that tale as old as time, that anytime Planned Parenthood does something wrong, they fall back on. But Planned Parenthood does so many other good things. They're not just about abortion. They do cancer screenings and prenatal screenings and STD tests and all of these other things. And
there would have to be some evidence of such things, wouldn't there?
You would think
somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We should talk about that too. Yeah. After the break, friends.
Join us on September 23rd for our annual Life Gala in Houston to celebrate our 50th anniversary protecting life. We are excited to announce that Kirk from Growing Pains will be giving an amazing speech. This year, the pro-life movement has been attacked more than ever before, and future generations need you to step up in this chapter after Roe v. Wade. Seats are filling up fast, so click the link in our description to get yours today. Join us as we honor God for all that He has done in these past 50 years. We can't wait to see you on September 23rd.
Great news. Texas Right to Life is celebrating our 50th birthday this year. This is half a century of victories that the Lord has given us. But God is not done yet. The battle for life is only increasing as the abortion industry is going underground to promote death and sell abortion. Join us in supporting Texas Right to Life's 50th birthday campaign and chip in with a gift today. Thank you for 50 years of saving lives. And friend, the best is yet to come.
Welcome back, friends. Now, I'm not sure which announcement Kim just dropped in the editing for.
It's a surprise to us all.
Okay, so if I'm repeating this, we have our gala, the Life Gala, September 23rd at the Marriott downtown. I'm excited, guys. Kirk Cameron's speaking. It's going to be awesome.
Yep. It's going to be great.
I don't know many celebrities, but I know who Kirk Cameron is. So
Hey!
We got that going for us.
So if you want to get tickets, links below. Yeah. Okay, back to the business at hand. We were going to cover the health services that Planned Parenthood claims they do.
Yeah,
supposedly.
That's
apparently you can't get anywhere else.
That's what they always say. Anytime Planned Parenthood is under fire, you just throw out the emergency stop here of but they do so many other great things.
Yeah.
Do they though? Do they?
Yep.
So let's just look at Planned Parenthood's own annual report. Anytime that you're going to have this conversation,
Mm-hmm.
I think we've all had this conversation of like, but why do you want to defund Planned Parenthood? They do so many great things.
Yes, this is very important information to have because even, your friends that might be like lukewarm on the abortion issue, they might have a positive outlook on Planned Parenthood because they just don't know the facts about Planned Parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
this is good to keep in the back pocket.
Well, I remember early in my relationship with my wife, she was like, that's where you go to get your free testing, free stuff. Planned Parenthood in college.
Isn't
Planned
it?
Parenthood was your buddy because they give
Isn't
you
it?
free stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but remember the other things they do.
Yep.
Let's talk about the other things they do.
Yeah.
But we'll try and talk about some of the good things they do, I guess.
Right.
Real quick. So, Kim, what are some of the great services that Planned Parenthood offers?
So the ones that you'll hear all the time, first off, is cancer screenings.
Mhm.
And you'll see actually by Planned Parenthood's own annual report, they're seeing fewer clients, and the share of clients that they do still have are increasingly there only for abortions. People are going to other places for these legitimate healthcare services, which is great. We don't want any money going to Planned Parenthood. If Planned Parenthood stopped committing abortions, then we'd be like, okay, we're chill here.
Do the cancer screenings.
Right.
Other
If all of their
services, yes.
immoral activity, if they only did legitimate healthcare services and dropped all the immoral activities,
It
then
doesn't
we'd be
seem
like,
like
okay.
a big request. Stop killing people
Mhm.
and do the other things.
Right. Yeah. But I think increasingly the other things are only there as a talking point. So
Yes.
Mhm.
whenever they do all of these abortions, they do all this other illegal and criminal activity, but they can always say, well, our cancer screenings. But let's look at Planned Parenthood's own numbers. So in 2021, their latest annual report, they killed 374,155 preborn children.
Oh my gosh.
And if you look at how many days they're open, this is across the nation. It accounts to 1,200 babies a day being killed by Planned Parenthood. And I think even people who support abortion know that there's something wrong with that.
Yep.
That's too many. I think deep down, most people still kind of, even if they don't agree with us completely on abortion, they still kind of know, like, I would never do that. Or, maybe abortion should be legal, but it should be rare, the whole safe, legal, and rare mantra.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of people who still believe that. And so once you tell them the actual numbers, it's jaw-dropping that this one organization can kill so many children per day, over 1,000 children per day.
Mm-hmm.
But let's look at that in comparison. Even if people who might support abortion and they're like, hey, no problem there, they still do so many other great things. The other great things that they're doing, what we'll call legitimate healthcare services, are decreasing. So over several years, according to Planned Parenthood's own annual report, their share of abortions increase and the amount of legitimate services that they're doing have been decreasing. And so compared to for every one adoption referral that they do 207 abortions. Let's see what else. We've got they're seeing fewer and fewer clients actually too. In 10 years ago, they were seeing 3 million clients, and now about 2 million clients, and yet they're doing more abortions among those. And so again, this whole idea of legitimate healthcare services are decreasing at Planned Parenthood. Over the last 15 years, the total amount of contraception services that they've done have decreased by 40%. Cancer screenings have decreased by 75%, and prenatal services have decreased by 85%. So all of these legitimate health services that they are all too quick to put to the forefront whenever they're under fire, they don't actually care about those because they have decreased a ton. 75% cancer screenings, 85% prenatal services. They're all decreasing, yet abortions among their clients are increasing.
This is almost like the mafia donating to a children's hospital and going, we're the good guys.
Yeah.
See, like,
yeah, exactly.
well, never mind that other thing. Just don't look at the back of the van. Don't look at the guy in the trunk.
Yeah.
Like, we gave to the children's hospital. We're the good guys.
Oh, well, when you say it like that.
Obviously, right? Like, I'm sorry, but you can't do a couple of good things.
Yeah.
And somehow that undoes the 207 kids you killed
Mm-hmm.
for that one referral.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so sad because so many people want to adopt, and adopting is so hard in our country and in our state.
Mhm.
And you hear these statistics and you're like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, this is an opportunity to do something better. And instead of making these adoption referrals and, doing reform in the adoption movement and everything, we're ending lives.
Yeah.
That is just so frustrating to me.
Right.
Yep.
And the other thing is that, like, people will always say, too, well, if we defund Planned Parenthood, if Planned Parenthood leaves the state, where else would poor women go? And it's clear that they're already going elsewhere because Planned Parenthood is seeing fewer clients now than they did 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And those services are still being provided at other places. And it's kind of ironic, too, because the way that Texas structures our budget for whenever Planned Parenthood used to receive state dollars for cancer screenings and like women's health and stuff like that, the way that we've structured our budget is to say, well, the first people who get it are going to be the first people who get this money in our state budget is going to be like people who are state clinics, things that the government runs. The next layer is going to be federally qualified health clinics. The next layer is this and this. And then way down at the bottom of the list is Planned Parenthood. And so that's how Texas and other states have followed Texas by defunding Planned Parenthood, is we put them way down at the bottom of the list. And the people who are against this are the ones who support big government. They're like, yes, the government is the best at everything. And so they're like, whenever we say, all right, well, then the government clinics can get this state funding first for women's health services and all these other things. And they're like, no, only Planned Parenthood can do that. It's like, you think you need to check what your priorities are here. But there are hundreds and thousands more federally qualified health clinics
Mhm.
and other providers that can and often provide these services. And there's only a handful of Planned Parenthoods. So
True.
it's a pretty easy argument, but it's just for the sake of arguing, I think, that people are like, but what about Planned Parenthood?
I mean, just pregnancy resources and the
Yeah.
resources those clinics, the pregnancy centers provide. My gosh, they're
Mhm.
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a map on the website. You can look.
Yeah.
They are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing a better job.
They are.
They're more cost efficient and they don't kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's true. And I don't think, even with all of this talk on defunding, if Planned Parenthood has to repay these millions of dollars, perhaps even over $1 billion in Medicaid funds, they simultaneously brag all the time about, like, look, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife just donated like a ton of
Mhm.
money to us, and
Mhm.
all of these
Mhm.
celebrities are just showering money upon us. It's like, all right, well, if you're going to brag about that, then I don't think you exactly need our tax dollars. I think you have
Right.
what you need. So we'll put those somewhere else.
This is the epitome of screw around and find out.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
really is.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, going back
Welcome
to
to
my
Texas.
original point, though, about Planned Parenthood just being a mess, it seriously shocks me how many celebrities donate to them. With like their history and, I mean, their very racist history.
Right.
I mean,
Right?
And they even admitted that they have a racist history. Like, for the longest time, Planned Parenthood, we would accuse Planned Parenthood of, hey, you guys have super racist history. If you read any of Margaret Sanger's quotes about, like, minorities are human weeds and poor people
Yeah.
are human weeds, it's like, I think something's wrong with you guys. And they just ignored that for so long. And then finally in 2020, they were like, we will reckon with our own racist history. And we're like, finally, you are admitting it, that Margaret Sanger, super, super racist. But still, it's like, it's Planned Parenthood, so it doesn't really matter. They can't do anything wrong ever in their lives.
it's incredible. Like, it is actually, it's insane to me that they have been able to pull that off. I don't think any other business besides Planned Parenthood could do that.
Yeah.
They've spent 50 years brainwashing a culture.
I mean,
That's what it is.
they're so powerful, and we should be very aware of that as Christians, and we should be making sure that we have people in our state capitals that are fighting for our tax dollars. I mean, we don't like being taxed, but if we're going to be taxed, we should be making sure that that money goes to things that actually help our culture and the betterment of people. And if we're not there, then it's going to go to Planned Parenthood.
Yep. And I like what you were saying earlier about how so many people just assume Planned Parenthood is the place you go. Like, if you don't have a lot of money, like, they're your buddy. That's where you go for your
Right.
tests and your screenings and all this stuff. And there's probably people in your own circles who think that. And so just talk about how there are lots of other places to go. Don't go to Planned Parenthood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doctors are a lot better when they're pro-life in all areas.
True story.
True that. Okay. Well, friends, you've got some fun information to share with your friends and neighbors and tell them about how Planned Parenthood isn't anybody's buddy. There's plenty of other options. Links to maps below. So, if you would like, subscribe, share, heart, comment. Tell Bailey congratulations. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.